Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's installment of ClueCon Weekly, sponsored by SignalWire. This week we have Chathurika Sandarenu from hSenid. She is a software architect at hSenid, which is a large mobile solutions provider, I think centered around Southern Asia, but she'll tell us more about that. So thank you for joining us, first of all.
So thank you for having me, Luca. So as you mentioned, like hSenid Mobile, we are from Sri Lanka. So in Italy, you might have met a lot of Sri Lankans as well. So we have a lot of Sri Lankans in Italy. So we are from Sri Lanka, and we mainly operate in this South Asian region. And also we have operations in Singapore, Philippines as well. So that's mainly about us. So the company was initiated like around 1997. Now it is like 24 years, and we are reaching the quarter of century next year. So
nice.
yeah. So if I talk about the main area, what we operate is like we are more into telecom, as you mentioned. So we have this two main areas. One is the signaling side of it, and then the CPaaS side of it. So for the CPaaS side is the where I am mainly working on, but I have worked on the signaling side of it as well. So in the CPaaS, like we have a CPaaS platform that have a lot of ecosystem around it. Let's say we have two main platforms, one running in Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Like you might have heard this Idea Mart platform and the BDApps platforms. Like it is very popular among the developers. Like it is kind of a long tail platform where like we enabled anybody to use these telco APIs to develop whatever the applications they want. So that is the CPaaS side of it. And then for the signaling side of it, like we have our own SMSC, our own SIGTRAN stack, and SMSC built on top of it, and USSD gateway and things like that. So we are like providing this service to like one of the main operators in Sri Lanka, and also like another few operators in Philippines, Singapore as well. So that's our main area of business.
Nice. So, as you know, SignalWire is CPaaS too, so we're mainly active in Northern American market. I'd be curious, since yours is CPaaS specifically aimed at the mobile market, what is the could you give us a few examples of applications that have been built on your CPaaS, just so people can frame the possible uses better?
Okay, so in our CPaaS, like we mainly focused on these network capabilities like SMS, USSD, and then location-based services and things like that. So we have a lot of applications like developed by individual developers, like let's say small job posting applications, news notifications, and maybe horoscope applications, and likewise. So it's like a wide range of small applications developed by small scale developers. Also in our platform, like there's like something called like template based applications, so that even a non-technical person can create applications. Like we have common patterns like alerts and scheduled alerts and things like that. So anybody can create an alert application. So if they are an expert in a particular area, like let's say a horoscope provider or someone, so they can create an application, and they just by few clicks, like they are able to create SMS based application likewise. So like that is the like most common pattern of the CPaaS usage.
Nice. So you support online payments too, right?
Online payments in the sense like add to bill is the main thing like used by many of the people. Like so they provide services, and they can charge from the mobile operators bill, like add to bill feature. So
yeah, so you that's very important, because that is I think it's going to be a big player in the future for other markets too. I know that Southern Asia and Africa use it a lot already, and I could never figure out why it is not more common in the US, because honestly, it's a no-brainer. Like, you're already paying for your phone, might as well pay the dollar more for whatever service it is. It's or say, I don't know, Uber or transportation or whatever, just add it to your bill if it's less than $5. I don't know. It is a it's so in that regard, are there a lot of regulations in your market about that kind of thing, or was it relatively easy to implement? Because the problem here would not really be the technical side, will be the actual.
Yeah, actually, like yes, when we started, it was easy to implement. There was no much regulation around it, but now the regulators are coming in and putting it, because there are, like, we have to make sure that we protect the consumer as well. So that there are a bit of regulation happening on, like, the double confirmations, payment authorizations, and things like that are coming in. But anyway, that is good, because, like, we make sure, like, actual real transactions are happening, not the fraudulent ones.
Yeah, that's. I mean, you were probably doing that already, but it is extremely important. Again, I really feel like it's something that hasn't been done enough yet in many markets. So your CPaaS is mainly about messaging, then, right?
Yeah, it's mainly about messaging, but we have a voice aspect of it, as, like, we have IVR based patterns, and as well as, like, some WebRTC things, like, where you can, like, click to call kind of patterns are also there. So that yeah, so mainly on the messaging area. And we also have this location based like APIs as well, like, so that we can get the subscribers location. So that is quite a popular thing in this area, like this like, especially in Sri Lanka, like, there are a lot of applications built on top of those location APIs, like the tracking applications and things like that.
Yeah, I can see that happening. The shipping industry, especially, is using a lot of those location tracking services. I am one of my main areas of expertise, actually, the Middle East, and I can anticipate that maybe Southern Asia has a similar pattern where the people don't even have a real address sometimes, or it's not really super precise. Yeah, in the Middle East, actually, in many countries, there are no true addresses outside of the main cities. Like, you live in the red house after the second fork when you see the cow farm. So it's that location service is a lifesaver, because otherwise you will never get a package delivered. So they do things like actually telling the person, turn on your phone and have the app open so we know where you are.
Yeah. So we have like location, like these transportation companies, like trucking companies, like fleet tracking kind of things, built on top of these simple location APIs.
But is it the question for you? So is this a CPaaS that telco purchases and makes available for their customers, or is it something that me and you can get started, build an application for, and then have it deployed to telcos? What's your typical customer?
So, like, now this our platforms are developed, like, deployed with the partnership of the telecom operators. Like, so we have, like, big players in Sri Lanka. If you look at, we have two platforms, like IdeaMart and MSpace, like, that is run with the collaboration of Dialog and Mobitel and all other operators. So we set up the platform with the operator, but then these APIs are open for anybody. So even you and me can go and register in the platform. Simply few clicks, you can provision the application, and once it get approved, like, I can use the SMS API or click to, like, add to bill API, USSD, whatever. So it's like mainly a collaboration between the telco partners and us, but the APIs are open for anybody.
So as long as it's deployed on the developer, on the carrier that you partnered with, anybody can build an application. That's really super interesting. Yeah.
So that's the model we have in Sri Lanka, as well as we have a same deployment in Bangladesh as well with the Robi. So it's quite a success.
And of course, being integrated, going back to what you said earlier, allows you to do things that are otherwise not possible or very hard to do with the classic CPaaS model, where I'm just selling APIs and people build it, such as the integrated billing. It's not possible unless you're inside the carrier. Location services, I assume, are provided by the actual carrier, not only by GPS. So they're using
not from the GPS. It is from the carrier, their HLR, and their base stations are providing the locations.
Wow, that's awesome. I mean, I need to play with this.
Yeah, I think you can. It's ideamart.io. So like you can go and try it in our Sri Lankan platform. Like.
Sorry, could you please repeat for me and for the people? So, what's the URL for the?
So it's ideamart.io.
Ideamart.io. Perfect.
Yeah. So,
I'm taking a
so that
look
is
right now.
the one of the deployments, and then we have another one in Bangladesh under BDFs. So I'll share those URLs.
Wow, that's amazing. And what are your plans like? Are you planning on bringing this outside of the Southern Asia market? Is there plans to expand towards other countries? It would be interesting. I mean, this is I will say almost a unique model, so it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So I think we have been trying with the Orange, mainly in the African region, and we have another one at Fiji with the Vodafone. So those are the main markets that we are currently operate. Yes, we are actually looking for other opportunities as well. Let's see how it goes on.
Yeah, I guess there's different regulations too. So maybe there's
yes.
It
That
might
is
be.
yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
easy.
yeah.
You should look
It
into
is not
Italy. Italian carriers are actually quite open to this kind of development. I know there's many going on. So maybe I know. No, you never know.
Yeah.
So
I'll
how
let our
many?
sales department.
Oh yeah, cool. How many
Yeah.
users do you have on your platform? Looks like it's gonna be a huge number from what you.
Yeah. We have a few like in Sri Lanka, like the total population is around 20 million. So like out of that, like let's say around 7 to 10 million subscribers are with us in our Sri Lankan platform, and in Robi also like similar number is there.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, what always amazes me when talking to people from the Asian markets, especially Southern Asia, is that everybody has a huge. Okay, yeah, we're not a big provider. We have 20 million subscribers because it's just there's so many people, and mobile services are so widespread that it's impressive, like the huge numbers, the scale that the. So, if I may ask, we're always talking about DevOps and architecture, and what could you tell us about how you're running the platform? Like, is it containerized? How do you keep something that's at that scale working?
Well, yes, when we started 10 years ago, like it was like in-house deployments. But now, actually, our like the some of the parts are moved to cloud. Like it is running on AWS and scaling on top of AWS. Most it's not fully containerized. Like we are still running on like Red Hat clusters and all that, not fully containerized. But we are actually migrating into the Kubernetes and the containerization. So that is the current work that we are going on. So yeah.
Cool.
So
So
yeah, that's
not
how it's like.
fully containerized. You're yeah.
Not fully containerized at the moment. It is running using these Red Hat clusters, using the cluster management stuff, but not fully containerized. But we are like introducing new modules, like when we deploy, like like it's like now it's like a 10-year old product, so migrating and all that, like it's not a really a easy thing. So we have to look at the ROI of it as well. So like we are slowly moving, but currently it's mainly on the Red Hat clusters and the cluster managements. But Docker and Kubernetes are like slowly moving in, like yeah, whatever the like new modules built on top of those.
Yeah, I think that's that's something that I mean, we were born out of containers because it's literally how one of the reasons SignalWires was built is around the architecture that our CTO pioneered at a local at a US MVNO. So we were started from there, but that's something I'm hearing. Many people are moving to containers. The industry is not easy to move an entire stack, right? So it's absolutely understandable
because
that
we
it's
have
not.
like 10 years of work, so we have to see what is the ROI and all that as well. Like when like technology aspect, like we are always trying to move, but then we have to see on the business side of it as well. So yeah.
So I was looking at your website. There's another the signaling aspect we haven't talked about much.
Yes, signaling, yes.
I'm just curious. What do you provide in general in the signaling side of things? Because so as a CPaaS company, and me and myself as an application developer, we always assume networks work while someone like you is actually making them work. So what does providing signaling to telco mean?
So yeah, so like we have like our own Zigtran stack, like as you know, like this telco, telco core networks are running on this SS7 protocol. So we have a Zigtran stack that will port to this like these SSN networks and will convert it to IP networks kind of thing. So we have our in-house build Zigtran stack, and on top of that we have developed the SMSC, and also like we have a USSD gateway as well. And then we have like missed call alert systems and all that, like middleware components. So those things are the mainly what we do in the signaling side of it. Like so actually like we are like our SMSC is like currently deployed with our main operator in Sri Lanka, Dialog, and also we are in like work with like expanding into few other markets as well. And our USSD gateway is like currently deployed in Sri Lanka with one operator, and then Philippine Globe is having our USSD gateway, and also in Singapore also like we are putting our USSD gateway. So signaling like mainly on the Zigtran stack and that related stuff what we are doing.
Oh, that's great. I mean, the signaling side is, again, we always make it for granted, but there's a lot there's a lot behind that. Just makes things
There's a lot of complex stuff going on. Yes.
Especially the Sigtran stuff is really hard. And so your signaling is mainly around messaging, correct? And of course the location-based system. What else? I was looking at the banks service, which is actually quite interesting because it looks like it's almost not part of you're doing signaling, great. You have a CPaaS for telecoms, absolutely correct. But then there's this customized user buying experience product you have, and I see it's got a lot of advanced technology in it. So I'm really interested about what it actually is.
So yeah, for the banks, like we have like two main products. One is this our CPaaS. So we have bundled it as a messaging gateway for the banks. Like so, the banks need to work with the operators to deliver their, let's say, transaction messages, OTPs, and stuff like that. So it has been a hassle for them to like individually integrate to these operators. Like in Sri Lanka, we have 5. In other countries, there can be many. So what we provide is a messaging gateway. So we will be connecting to all the operators, and they will have a simple API so that they can integrate their core banking systems with that. So that way, like that is the one of the products like we have with this messaging gateway. And also like then we have this other product called Cube, which is kind of an analytics thing around the analytics platform, like where the banks can use to group their customer segmentations and how to plan promotions and marketing campaigns and all those stuff. So that is what the Cube platform is doing.
That's a lot. I mean, it's very interesting, and of course, I guess you have your this product too is deployed mostly in Sri Lanka and that area.
Yes, messaging gateway is mainly on Sri Lanka. Like we have like many banking customers in locally, like around 5 banks, I think.
Oh wow! Well, that's a lot of banks. I mean, 5 banks is quite impressive.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's so when let's maybe take just a quick step back, and I just wanted to ask you about the market and the usage patterns themselves. So Southern Asia, as again, I've done a lot of work in the Middle East. I've done some work with Africa. I never actually worked with or in Southern Asia. What are the typical usage patterns for phones? Like, is everybody there doing everything through their phone? Like in Africa, is it like a more traditional use? Is this the phone the most important thing in Southern Asia too?
Yes, actually it is. So like if you look at Sri Lanka, like some people are having like two phones, like one a dumb phone and a smartphone kind of like. So like I think we have more customer like mobile subscribers than our population. If you
Wow.
actually look at, yeah. So if you look at like the another market we operate in Philippines, yeah, everything kind of things happen over the phone. Like we have like as I mentioned earlier, like we have that USSD gateway, and on top of that we have a platform to create these USSD menus. Like so there are a lot of things happening on that. So like they are doing a lot of things on using the USSD. In Europe, I think that is not even in use, right? USSD.
No, not even. No, it's.
Yeah.
I think we went to with more over the top services. So actually, almost everything is just data channels and an app. There's not really much, and that's actually I agree with you, and I agree with that. That's wrong. Like we've willingly or not very smartly cut out a segment of services that will be quite productive to have right in your system instead of having to go through app stores. It is, I mean, that's what it is. People just pick technologies, they don't really think about it. But so do people do things like micro payments between themselves in Southern Asia, for example? Like I send you $5 and you just got them, the kind of thing.
Those kind of things are also there. Like we have like mobile money kind of things. Like it's quite a popular with the like small time merchants and all that. So that they use it for small transactions, because like getting a credit card is a bit of a hassle. Like for a small merchant, sometimes like banks don't approve the credit cards for them, like credit card transactions. So this add to bill and this. These small like mobile money kind of transactions have really common.
Yeah, I think that's actually a very interesting problem. Like there's a lot of people who have problems access or even will need a credit card. Like if you're just sending $2 to your friend to pay for your part of dinner, it doesn't really mean it isn't really meaningful to just use a credit card and whatever, split bills, etc. It can be totally done through phone credit. Well, that's quite interesting. And the differences between markets, it's actually my main. It's been my main point of contention for a while. So I'm very happy that you managed to join us today, and it's been a pleasure having you. Cool. So if there's anything else you'd like to let us know, otherwise, I thank you for joining us. And well,
Okay. Yeah. Sure. So thank you for having me, Luca.
thank you.
It's
And
always nice to share the experience.
yeah, so again, Chathurika Sandarenu from hSenid, a large mobile service provider operating in Sri Lanka. They have a CPaaS, they do signaling, and they do bank services and a lot of other interesting things that you've heard about. Thank you for joining us again, and see you next week.
Okay. Right. Thank you.